Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to the show. Today we'll be making pita breads. These little pocket breads are super easy to make and they will only take about 2 hours from start to finish. So if you're interested in how to make these, then keep on watching. There will be a full detailed recipe with metric and imperial units down in the description. So let's start with the equipment that you'll need. A bowl to mix all your ingredients in, digital scale to weigh everything, a pastry scraper, which is always handy when making bread, a rolling pin, a digital temperature probe. You'll need something to cover your dough with. I use shower caps, but you can use plastic wrap. And finally, a thick bottom tray on which you will bake your pita breads. Now to the ingredients. You'll need salt, yeast, water, and strong white bread flour. So let's start. Get your bowl. So make sure your water is about 25 degrees Celsius. If it's warm in your house, make it 24. If it's cold, make it 26. Now pour your water in your bowl, then add your yeast and make sure it dissolves a little bit. Then add your salt. I use sea salt, so it's quite big flakes, so I'll stir it around to dissolve it a little bit as well. Now normally it would not be advisable to add your salt to your yeast for extended periods of time, but because we'll be making our dough straight away, it's not a big problem. If using sea salt flakes, ideally you dissolve them a little bit, because it will be much harder to do that later whilst you're kneading the dough. As soon as you feel the salt flakes dissolving and disappearing, you can start adding your flour. Dump the whole lot in the bowl straight away and start mixing with your hand. I think it's very important to use your hands when baking and mixing dough and kneading dough. The more you do it, the better you will get at feeling the different stages of development of your dough. And thus you will get more experienced and more confident in your baking. So just keep on mixing, keep at it, and this soggy mess will turn into a beautiful piece of dough soon enough. Make sure to scrape down the sides. You want to pick up all the flour and all the water. You want to mix it together to hydrate the flour basically. We are only hydrating the dough at this moment. We are not really kneading it per se. And once you've done this for a while, you'll see there's no more dry bits. There might be some dough stuck to your fingers, so now it's time to use our handy little dough scraper to scrape off the loose dough off our fingers and add it back to our dough ball. Now you can collect it all together in one cohesive mass, throw it out on your table and start working it. People work their dough in different ways. I will show you my preferred method. The way I do it is I use the heel of my right hand to push the dough down and forwards, and the fingers of my left hand to fold the dough underneath the heel of my right hand, and repeating this motion over and over again. Once you've done this a few times, it will become second nature. But let's watch a close-up once again of the kneading action. Using the right hand, push down and forwards, and using your left hand, fold the dough piece underneath the heel of your right hand and repeat. Obviously, if you're left-handed, you just do it the other way around. You'll see that at this point the dough is still a little bit sticky, not really smooth. You can see when you stretch it, it tears, it's not really elastic, but that will change soon enough. Some of the dough might stick to your hands, so what you can do is rub your hands together to scrape off the dough pieces. Obviously make sure you always have clean hands before doing this. And once you've done that, just take your dough ball and roll it around in those little bits just to collect them back up, because it's all part of your recipe basically. And then just keep kneading. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes all in all to get the gluten development that we need for these breads. As you go along, you will feel the dough becoming softer and smoother and less sticky. Now when we pick the dough up and stretch it, we can see it's developing nicely because it's nice and elastic and it's got some gluten structure. It's not tearing anymore, it's a bit more stretchy. So that means it's coming along nicely. So now what we can do, just give it a few more kneads and then we'll measure the temperature of the dough. Because it's quite important to know where you're at with the temperature. If it's gone too warm, you want to stick it in the colder corner of your kitchen. This dough is 25.5 degrees, it's more or less perfect. So now you're ready, stick it in your bowl, cover it and leave it for the first half an hour proof. We'll let it sit for 30 minutes and after that we'll give it its first fold. Folding the dough achieves two things. It equalizes the temperature because the inside of the dough might be warm, the outside might be cold, and also it gives it more gluten structure because we're creating more layers. So what you want to do is flip the dough out on your table upside down and then stretch the sides into the center, going around in a circle until you reach the point where you started. And then flip it back upside down, collect it into a little ball and put it back in your bowl. As easy as that. And then cover it and let it proof for another 30 minutes. Now we are ready to pre-shape. We'll flip the dough out on our work surface and divide it into 4 equal pieces. I know this dough weighs about 400 grams, so I'll get my scales and weigh out 4 100-gram pieces. You can also eyeball it, but weighing the dough pieces will yield you a more consistent result. So using your pastry scraper, just cut off a piece of dough, slap it on the scales. If you need to add a little bit, if you need to take off a little bit, it's no problem. Because we will be pre-shaping our dough and any imperfections won't be visible in the end result. And once you've scaled your dough, we'll be ready to pre-shape. And this works the same way as the fold that you performed halfway through fermentation. You take a piece of dough and fold the sides into the center, going around in a circle until you reach the point where you started. And then flip it upside down, roll it around on the table a little bit to tighten it, and repeat with the other pieces of dough. Once you've finished shaping your dough balls, cover them and proof them for one last time for 20 minutes. Normally when you make bread, you would proof the bread after its final shape. In the case of PITA breads, we'll do the final shape just before baking. So grab your rolling pin, dust your work surface with flour and your dough balls with flour quite generously. You don't want anything to stick. Roll them out to about 1 centimeter thick, no thicker, otherwise they will not rise properly. And you don't want them too thin, otherwise they will not puff up at all. Sometimes there might be a little bit of resistance, meaning that you will roll them, but they'll just pull back together into a little ball. But what you can do is just maybe leave it for half a minute, 1 minute, and the gluten will relax and it'll be easier. So at this point, I'll remind you that your oven should have been preheated for at least 1 hour. It's 250 degrees Celsius with no fan, or if you can't switch off the fan, then 230 degrees. And make sure your baking tray is in there, also nice and hot. These little breads need to be on a hot surface to nicely puff up. When you roll them out, they might tend to pull back together, but you can pick them up and stretch them out with your hands. So we've rolled out a couple here, it's time to hit the oven now. So open up your oven door and place your PITA straight on your hot tray. They will take no more than 3 minutes to cook. They should puff up nicely and get a nice golden brown color on top, and you'll know they're ready. Let them cool down slightly before cutting them open, otherwise you'll scald your fingers with the steam. You could also pre-bake these, cool them down and keep them for another day. Just make sure you wrap them up nicely in some cling film. Once you're ready, just open them up and hit them with your favorite filling. I've got some hummus here, some fresh salad, spicy roasted chicken, and some garlic sauce. But you can stuff them with whatever you fancy. If you have any questions, write them down in the comments. I'll make sure to answer each and every one of them. And if you want to learn more about baking and different recipes, just subscribe to the channel because I'll be posting videos every Wednesday. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy baking!